Good evening.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
Good
Evening.
evening.
Okay. This is weird. I'm on this iPad and I feel like
I don't believe anyone's speaking yet.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do we have a quorum? Are you all ready?
Madam President, it does appear that we have enough to initiate the meeting.
All right, I'm ready when you are. Now that I got my camera straight, I think.
Okay.
All right, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Everyone, please stand for the pledge. Oh, chair is big, hold on. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated or stay seated if you were already seated.
Right. Now call the roll. Commissioner President White.
Present.
Commissioner Vice President Webb.
Present.
Commissioner Allen Jordan.
Present.
Commissioner Andrews. Commissioner Andrews. Commissioner Douglas. Commissioner Douglas. Commissioner Dr. Harris.
Present.
Commissioner Hembry. Commissioner Hembry. Commissioner Johnson.
Present.
Commissioner Malone. Commissioner Malone. All right. And as we are on Zoom, I will note Dr. Elizabeth Filipatos, Acting Superintendent, Mr. Cameron E. Cox, School Business Administrator, Board Secretary. For the record, I'm sure we have other members of executive leadership team here, but the panel is a little different. I'll read the welcome. Welcome to the business meeting of the Plainfield Board of Education. Members hope that you'll find this meeting interesting and informative. We thank you for taking the time out to attend. Please be advised that this and all meetings of the board are open to the media and public consistent with the Open Public Meetings Act, and that the advance notice required therein has been provided to the Courier News, Tap into Plainfield on Monday, July 13th, 2026, to be advertised on Friday, July 17th, 2026, and also provided to the Plainfield Public Schools District website, the Plainfield City Clerk, Plainfield Police Department, and Plainfield Public Libraries for posting. Madam President.
Thank you. Welcome everybody to this evening, July board business meeting. Thank you on behalf of Plainfield Board of Education for joining us virtually this evening. Before we begin, I'd like to ask that we pause for a moment of silence in honor of our young king, Quadier Cassett, who will truly be missed by our entire community. So if you guys would please take a minute. Thank you. Although his life was far too brief, he touched the lives and hearts of so many with the size of his heart, the strength of his personality, and the light he carried with him. Our hearts ache for his family, his friends, his classmates, his teammates, his educators, and everyone who was affected by this tremendous loss. I want to thank you for that moment of silence. As our community continues to grieve, please know that our district is working to ensure that our young scholars receive the grief counseling, care, and emotional support that they need to navigate this incredibly different time. We extend our deepest condolences again to everyone who loved him and who lives here in Plainfield, who has been able to have the pleasure of having been touched with his presence. I don't really have many remarks this evening. I do want to note that we do have some acknowledgements along with our month in review video, which will showcase our graduating seniors and highlight some of the meaningful end of the year moments across the district. However, before concluding, I want to encourage everyone to remain safe and to follow all guidance and instructions issued by our local emergency management team regarding the tornado and flood watches. The safety of our students, staff, and families remain our highest priority, which is why tonight's meeting was transitioned from in-person to virtual. Please remain on alert and please avoid unnecessary travel. And so before I turn it over, we can go ahead and share the month in review video. Nick, if you can cue that up.
Hi, my name is Hope. I'm in the 4th grade and my home teacher is Miss Alicia. We are looking forward to sharing our school with you today. In your folders, you will see our agenda for today, an information sheet about our school, and a page for you to write your notes.
Over the last 4 years, people have had a lot to say about your generation, about Plainfield Public Schools, and about Plainfield in general. But here's where they're wrong. They never got to write your story. You did. You wrote your own story. You persevered through uncertainty, changing learning environments, changing school leaders, and challenges that reached far beyond the classroom. You showed compassion, courage, and unity, and that's what Cardinals do. And while some question what could come from Plainfield Public Schools, this very class produced scholars, artists, musicians, entrepreneurs, and some of the finest student athletes and state champions in New Jersey.
I wanna be as free as the spirits of those who left. I'm talking Malcolm, Coltrane, my man Youssef. Through death, through conception, new breath and resurrection. For wrongs, new steps in a direction in the right way. Told inside is where the fight lay, and everything good do may not be what he might say. Chicago night stay on the mind, but I write many lives. They lay on these lines, wait the signs of the times. Many say the grind's on the mind. But won't reach for the skies, waiting for the Lord to rise. I look into my daughter's eyes and realize I'ma learn through her. The Messiah might even return through her. If I'ma do it, I gotta change the world through her. Birds in the beds, Gramps wanting them. Demons and old friends, Pops, they hunting them. The chosen one from the land of the frozen sun. Walk like warriors, we were never told to run. Explore the world to return to where my soul begun. Never looking back or too far in front of me. The present is a gift, and I just want to be.
Make them remember. Make them remember. Make them remember how you made people feel, how you led, how you showed up, because your reputation will enter rooms long before you do.
Well, good evening, everybody. That was just a spectacular video. Thank you, team, for putting that together, and good evening, commissioners. And Miss Wyatt, President Wyatt didn't get back on, so I'll just go ahead and start off the evening. I have the pleasure tonight to introduce our presentation, which is Phones Down and Minds Up. To begin, I want to extend my deepest appreciation to our Director of Student Services, Denise Shipman, for her exceptional leadership in coordinating this incredibly complex initiative. Bringing together multiple departments, perspectives, and stakeholders into a unified plan required extraordinary organization, attention to detail, and perseverance. Denise's ability to manage this complicated work with professionalism and precision and collaboration has really been remarkable. And our district, we are all grateful for that leadership. This is no small task. And I also want to recognize the 24 members of the committee, of the Phones Down, Minds Up committee, this diverse group of administrators, teachers, counselors, student support professionals, district staff, dedicated countless hours, and thoughtfully examined every aspect of implementing New Jersey's new cell phone expectations, and no detail was too small. They discussed student motivation and engagement. They explored storage solutions for devices. They worked through classroom logistics, arrival and dismissal procedures, emergency considerations, communication with families, updates to the student code of conduct, timelines for implementation, professional development, enforcement, consistency, and countless what-if scenarios. Yeah, Denise is smiling. She's remembering. And if there was a question to ask, this committee asked it. If there was a challenge to anticipate, the committee solved it. And this work really reflects the beautiful nature of the Plainfield Public Schools. And it's not just a school initiative. This is a district commitment to following the mandate from our governor. And every single one of us, every board member, every administrator, every teacher, every paraprofessional, counselor, social worker, secretary, custodian, security officer, parent, guardian, and most importantly, every student has a role to play. And in creating classrooms where attention is focused on learning and having our minds fully present. So today they will share that work that's been completed and the procedures they've developed. And, I'm going to challenge everyone on this call to, take the phone and put it down. We can't see you. I was hoping to be in person so I could have everyone put their phones away, but that didn't work out. So I'm going to trust that you're all putting your phones down and lifting your minds up. And, without further ado, were they able to pull all the members over? Yeah,
I'm
I
not
saw
sure.
some
I
coming
don't think I
over.
see everyone.
Yes,
See
yeah,
Mr.
there comes
Thompson.
some. Not
Okay.
everybody can be here, but I'm sure you have that in your
Yes.
slideshow. So,
Yes, absolutely.
team, if you could start pulling over all the members, I'm going to hide my screen. We want to let the committee take the spotlight. So thanks again.
Yes. Okay, there we go. I see you guys now. Okay. Okay, so let me know whenever you're ready, Dr. Filipatos. Okay, we're good. So did we get all of our committee people over? And hopefully we're gonna have, okay, here we go. I can see it now. All right. Good evening, Madam President Wyatt, board commissioners, superintendent, and the Plainfield community. I'm Denise Shipman, Director of Student Services and the lead facilitator for our Phones Down, Minds Up, and Phones Free Bell to Bell initiative. I'd like to begin with a quick moment of reflection. If you walked into our classrooms 15 to 20 years ago, you would have seen many students making eye contact, engaging in discussion, and present in the learning process. Today, in many of our classrooms across the country, even in our own district, educators are competing with something more powerful than we anticipated. Yes, phone devices. Phones that are designed to capture attention, distraction, and limit student learning. The question before is not whether technology belongs in education. We know that it does. The question is, are our students in control of their devices, or are the devices in control of them? Our Phones Down, Minds Up initiative is not just a state-mandated initiative. It is a commitment to reclaim student focus and create learning environments where our students can be mentally, socially, and academically engaged. I would like to thank our superintendent, Dr. Filipatos, the executive leadership team, as well as our committee members. And I don't know if we have time to acknowledge them. We do have an acknowledgement page, but in the interest of time, each of them will have a component of the presentation so that they can introduce themselves. So I would like to get started with that. So the execution plan consists of 4 basic steps and questions. The first question is, what is the governance charge? What does the data say? How will we communicate this initiative? And lastly, how are we going to implement this initiative? So what is our charge? Starting for the 26-27 school year, all New Jersey public schools are required to implement a bell-to-bell policy prohibiting cell phones and personal internet-enabled devices during the regular school day. As you may remember, Governor Murphy stated that removing cell phones helps to ensure classrooms are placed in learning and engagement. The current administration also agreed. The goal is to promote student well-being, academic engagement, digital safety, and a positive school climate. The key message, the policy is not just a local decision. It is part of the New Jersey statewide effort to protect instructional time, reduce distractions, and support student well-being. So what does the data say, Mr. Thompson? Mr. Thompson? Did
Can
it
you
get
hear me
promoted?
now?
Yes.
Okay. So the first two slides I'm going to share with you. First of all, the reason why the governor, the legislature, and the governor enacted, the legislature passed the law, the governor signed the law, because we know cell phones are interrupting our students' daily learning process. Let's look at the first one. Number one, phones are being used during the day in school. 97% of age 11 to 17 use their phone during the school hours. Students had a median of 43 minutes of phone use during school. That's 97%, but the other three probably don't have phones, because we know if they have phones, they will be using the phones. Two, phones constantly interrupt attention. Of course it does. The phones are always interrupted, whether they're using it or they're waiting for a text, waiting for a ring, whatever they're waiting for notification, their phones are distracting them. And the data proves that 237 notifications per day, and that's per student. That's a whole lot of time interrupted. Number three, teachers see phones as a major classroom problem. Of course, 72% of high school teachers said student cell phone distractions is a major problem in the classroom. I mean, it's probably 100%. Those others didn't take the survey, because it's definitely a distraction in the classroom when they have them. Number four, school leadership connect phones to academic concerns. 53% of public school leaders said cell phones negatively affect academic performance, and that's definitely true. It's probably higher than that, realistically. Number five, school leaders also connect phones to attention and mental health concerns. School leaders report that cell phones negatively affect students' attention span and students' mental health. And we see this bear out in our schools every day. And whether it's cyberbullying, negative body images, information that's not great for their brains. And now there's also gambling. There's also gambling, sports sites gambling. All this affect their mental health. Next slide. All right, number six. These numbers are from schools, districts that have already implemented, the cell. What they're seeing after they have implemented already. New Jersey data won't be out for a while, because September is really the beginning of it for most schools. Number six, public schools support limited phone use during class. 68% of adults support banning middle and high school students from using their cell phones during class. It makes sense to me. Number seven, phone restrictions may improve school safety and climate. 86% of principals with district cell phone policies report safety-related benefits. Cyberbullying goes down, the gang-related things go down. We all know that. Number eight, phone bans may reduce bullying and support student well-being. Going back to the mental health thing, 2024 study found that smartphones bans were linked to decreased bullying and fewer psychological health-related visits among our girls in school, when they are really affected tremendously. Number nine, academic benefits may grow over time. A study of a large Florida district found higher students' test scores 2 years after the cell phone ban was implemented. And I'm sure we're going to see the same results here in New Jersey once this rule gets to be implemented. The bottom line, phone-free school day protects instructional time, improves students' focus, reduces distraction, and supports a calmer school environment. The next slide is a survey that Plainfield did. we did surveys for parents, teachers, and for the students. This one's a parent survey, and you can read the numbers clear as day. 87% said cell phone use disrupt classroom learning, at least somewhat. Of course, we know it's a lot, and again, that number is probably low. 64% believe phone-free school day would positively impact learning. This next number, 48% currently support Plainfield's bell-to-bell phone-free policy, with 20 undecided. This number is kind of I don't understand it, because we have to support it because it is law. It's not something we give you an opportunity or you got a choice to. It's a law we have to support. It's just how we roll it out is the question. Biggest parent concern, of course, is emergency, 70%, safety 51, communication 36. Let's keeping it real. Technology has really helped parents. I was a parent. My kids are grown now, but being able to contact your kid at any time, knowing where they are, if they're safe, that's something that gives us peace of mind. But we're going to discuss how you can contact your kids without using a cell phone later on in the presentation. The next slide, I believe, is a teacher's survey.
Yes, that's Mr. Orlando.
Hello, everybody. My name is, and thank you, Mr. Thompson. My name is Eric Orlando. I am the Assistant Principal of Plainfield Academy for the Arts and Advanced Studies. These are some key findings based on teacher surveys regarding the Plainfield School District cell phone policy. As a whole, we took the data and we quantified it, and we saw the positives of this. Teachers strongly support the policy. Most teachers believe the policy will improve instruction and student engagement, and this is from that survey that we gave. The key takeaway from this is that teachers see phones as a major barrier to focus, participation, in classroom flow. And our strongest data points that we were able to find, because we did many data points, but in the sense of having this slide to be as compact and consumable as possible, we found that 88% said the policy would positively impact instruction, which is a very high number in my opinion, and 81% said it would increase student engagement. All right, next slide, please. This is a continuation of the first slide. The biggest things that we found in terms of not the cons, but the what comes with the pros is, okay, we like this, but we want to see this. The major one that we saw is consistency. So teachers really want to make sure that this policy is enforced the same way by all staff, including educational leaders, including teachers, including custodians, including everybody in that building. We all have to be at a whole unified front in every school. Administrative support is needed. Teachers don't want to be the only ones that are enforcing this, where they say, okay, well, Mr. Smith is on top of it and he's doing all this, but if we go to Mr. Jackson or Mrs. Smith's class, well, you know what? They're kind of relaxed with this. It's a law now. It's a policy. This is happening in Plainfield the same way it's happening in Bridgewater, the same way it's happening in Scotch Plains. It's a law now. Families must be informed. This is the biggest one that we ran into. We love our cell phones. We love in communication, to piggyback what Mr. Thompson said. But parents should understand that students cannot text during the day and should contact the office when needed. When that's not possible, my personal recommendation is we are going to be getting Student Square, Parent Square, and Student Square. In case you ever need to contact your student, they have devices that they can use where they can be within a moment's touch using Student Square. Instead of going through the main office, if they need to, you can also use that as well. The bottom line is teachers support the policy, but that success has to come from all unified fronts. It needs to be a multifaceted attack where it's not just one group of people upholding the rules and then the other group of people being relaxed. And that's it for that slide. I believe I have this slide as well.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
This is the student feedback preparing to this rollout. The biggest one that we found, the 74%, is the biggest challenge. I had said before was they need to contact their family. It's a very reasonable, very reasonable understanding as to why they need to use their cell phones. Hey, look, I need to talk to my mom. I need to talk to my dad. I need to talk to my uncle. I need to be picked up. I have a sport. I have an event going on. I need to contact my family. They do. On the flip side of that, it does say that 50% acknowledge phones distract students at least a little bit. I could respect our students for saying that. 1 out of 2 students said, this phone can distract me a little bit while I'm at school. So I do respect the honesty with that, to say, hey, look, we're here to learn. We want to learn. The cell phone, in my own personal experience, it could distract me as well. So I very much find a lot of respect for those students for saying that. Compliance can be built. 42% say that they can follow the rules all the time or most of the time, and another 30% say sometimes. We're not going to oversell the student support. 56% dislike the policy. So we're going to have to make sure that we get that why. Why are we doing this? What is the reasoning? What is the rationale as to why we're doing this? Not just Plainfield, but all over the state of New Jersey. The one that we're working with a multifaceted approach here is the storage issue. So every school is going to be a little bit different. My school, Plainfield Academy for the Arts and Advanced Studies, while we're going to be linear with everybody else, we're going to have a couple things that we're going to have our own flavor on just to make sure that everyone has a legitimate chance of storing their phones. For us, we'll be using lockers and we'll be using storage. High school will be using, thanks to the tech department, we'll be using these fantastic lockers where students will have a fair opportunity to put their cell phones in any classroom or their first classroom. We're going to be doing the same thing as well. So we are very happy about that. The real problem is, the recommended policy messages that we hear you guys, we hear students, we hear the stakeholders, their concerns are real. We want our students to feel safe and comfortable. We want them to be able to come to school, turn that phone off, get that education, and then once that school ends, they could definitely get access to their phones once more. And
thank you, Mr. Lando. I think we go to Dr.
Me.
Rodriguez.
Yes. So these are our QR codes for our standard operating procedures. The first one, which is the next slide, is for students. So again, New Jersey state law is bell-to-bell policy. This includes all personal devices. That's your phones, smartwatches, even your Meta glasses, tablets are banned from the start to the end of an instructional day. That means the classroom, the hallways, the restrooms, and the cafeteria. Students are encouraged to keep them home, but we know they're going to bring them. So as Mr. Orlando said, the device storages. From grades 5 through from K to 5, classroom cubbies or caddies or wall holders. That's how they will store their cell phones. For Hubbard and Maxon, so 6 through 8, they're going to have the homeroom phone lockers. So they will go to their homeroom, they will give their phones to their homeroom teacher, it'll be locked up in the homeroom, and then it will come back at the end of the day to receive those devices. As Mr. Orlando said, the high school, they'll have their assigned hallway lockers. Anybody who is late, they have to check it into the main office. And then, students are, he discussed where, how can I contact home? Well, we have Student Square, we have Parent Square. They can communicate with their parents on their tablets using our Student Square. It's like a text message. So they can reach out to their parents. They also could do the old school way, call the main office for communication. Or if they don't feel well, they ask the teachers if they could see the nurse. There are approved exceptions, medical or special circumstances that require school administrative approval. So these devices, they still may stay out of sight with the teacher permission to use it. So example, my daughter is a type 1 diabetic. She needs to know her glucose levels on her phone. She'll have her phone device on her, but she can leave it on the teacher's desk. She doesn't need to be on the phone. She just needs to have it near her. That way she can hear it if it has to beep. And now field trips, students may also have their personal devices, but they must remain in their backpacks or bags. The next one is for staff. Staff are not liable for lost, stolen, or damaged students' personal devices before, during, or after the school day. That has not changed. That's still the policy. And then per Danielson, domains 2 and 4, our staff members can't be using their phones either while they are, instruction time or supervision time. So they're not supposed to be on their phones as well. AM arrival, they are to ensure students turn off their devices and monitor the storage procedures, whether it's in the homeroom or in the hallways. And then when they retrieve their devices, teachers need to be in the hallways or the designated homeroom and monitor these device retrievals. Enforcement. Do not allow students to access personal devices without administrator approval. So we have to stick to our guns. We have to be consistent. It's very important to be consistent. Contact main office or security for students who are, they see them with the device and they have to have confiscation. Only if it's visible. We're not asking the teachers to go through bags looking for anything. It's only if it's visible, then call security or the main office for confiscation. Again, contact families, direct to the main office. You got the Student Square. And then the same thing with the approved exceptions. We're going to try to put that in Genesis so the teachers know who are the students who are exempt from having to store their their devices. Then I think 14 is.
Dr. Rojas?
Good evening, everyone. So our standard operating procedures for extracurriculars are the following. Each extracurricular advisor, coach, or program leader should maintain explicit personal device expectations and storage protocols tailored to the activity's purpose and environment. Students may use devices at appropriate times for a brief window to coordinate pickup for their activities. Parents must route urgent messages through the main office or Parent Square. We really want to reiterate the use of Parent Square and Student Square during this policy. Staff sharing personal numbers to students, guardians, or parents, guardians, or students must limit the use strictly to urgent program-related matters. We must follow and enforce the school day policies, which include only intervening if the device is visible or audible. Students with approval may retain access, but must keep the devices out of sight and step away from the group to check it after informing their leader. The instructional staff, the district staff, and the students will carry a zero liability for lost, stolen, or damaged devices.
This is actually, I think Ms. Hill was supposed to do this slide. This is actually a sample, and this evening we're going to provide a sample schedule of elementary, middle, and high school. So as you can see, the personal devices will be collected in the homeroom and returned at the end of the dismissal. Homerooms are self-contained. Devices are collected during homeroom and returned at dismissal. Devices are not accessible during the day, and they would pick up their devices at the end of each day. Next slide.
Now for Hubbard and Maxon, our schedule really has not changed that much. Start homeroom, they'll collect the devices, put it away, and then we have our block 1, we have our block 2, everything is the same. They go to lunch, and then our flex period was 40 minutes, but we made our flex period 35 minutes, so we just shaved 5 minutes off of flex, and we're gonna tack it at the end of the day. So then they'll go to block 3, block 4, and then they'll go to their homeroom to retrieve their devices. They are not allowed to go to their lockers throughout the day. They do go through before lunch because we really push to put their iPads away because these are still middle school. They still run around and break their iPads. So during lunch, they do put their devices away, just their iPads, get their money or their lunch food because some parents still pack up lunch. So they do go to those lockers. That's why they have the homeroom lockers for the cell phones and not using those other lockers because we don't want them to be persuaded or tempted to grab those cell phones if they use those personal lockers because we still use lockers at the middle school. But again, our schedule is really not that different. We just shave 5 minutes off of flex and tacked it to the end so they could just retrieve their device.
So for pause, very, very similar to Dr. Rodriguez. It is very, very similar in that sense. The only difference is we have 30 minutes of flex, and I did not want to take the 30 minutes away. We did not want to take the 30 minutes away from those students to put less, especially because the data from us, from EPAWS, notes that students really, really appreciate flex. And so the last thing we want to do is take time away from them. So what we're going to do is they come in, they're allowed to put their phones in their lockers. They can, in that first 10 minutes of transition, because Paws is such a small school, they have the entire day without their lockers. But at the end of the day, for 3 minutes, we will dismiss them just a little bit earlier from 2:52 to 2:55, where they can get their cell phone so they're not missing their buses. We do have a bunch of students that do take about a little bit less than half of those students who take buses, and we don't want them missing their bus just to get their device. That's not a good message being sent out. So we have a very, very similar schedule as always. They're able to put their cell phones in their lockers, or they're able to put them in the lock boxes that we will be providing our students as well. This is the schedule if anyone wants to look, and very, very little has changed. Same thing as Dr. Rodriguez.
For Plainfield High School, we did have to make a slight adjustment, and that was to move our homeroom from blocks 2 and 6 to block 1 and 5. And the reason as to why we did that is that for student entrance from 7:50 to 8 a.m., students will have 10 minutes to enter the building and go straight to their lockers, which is the location where we are requiring students to keep their cell phones. Once they place their cell phones in their lockers, they're able to go straight into homeroom. And if you notice for block 1 and block 5, we've extended that by 10 minutes. So that is a 90-minute block. Gives us enough time to have those students who are late arrivals, gives us enough time to run our morning announcements, which are extremely important. We did not change our lunch. We did not change our flex. So those are still 40 and 30 minutes. We did designate a specific dismissal time from 2:55 to 3 p.m., which gives students an opportunity to go back to their lockers and retrieve their devices. And at Plainfield High School, we are using a log, which will be implemented district-wide for when we are confiscating a cell phone. And the reason why we will confiscate a cell phone are for students who are non-compliant. And so we want to establish a system where we are tracking those cell phones for accountability purposes. So you'll notice in the spreadsheet, there is a side for student IDs, the student name, the grade level is a drop down. The phone make is also a drop down. The phone model would not be a drop down, so that will require text in that cell. The date it was confiscated and who it was confiscated by. At Plainfield High School, only 4 types of individuals are able to confiscate, and that is security officers, an assistant principal, the principal, and our deans of students. Then we have the confiscated location. We have 4 locations, again, for where cell phones will be stored. And again, that will be the security office, the dean's office, the main office, and the AP's office. We have lockers in every single one of those offices, and so and each locker has a number, so we'll log which locker it belongs to. Very important because every time we are confiscating a phone, we are informing parents. So this, whether the parent was contacted, this is a drop-down menu that indicates yes, the parent was contacted, no, the parent was not contacted, the reason why. It also includes the next is a status. It's important for us to understand where we are in the process of this confiscation. Was the cell phone held? Was the cell phone turned off or given back to the student? What is the cell phone confiscated until the end of the day, or is the cell phone confiscated until a parent comes and picks it up? When was the cell phone returned? Who it was released to? And any specific notes that are attached to that. So again, we're using this form for accountability purposes. The second page of this actual form is more for us, the administrative team. We're able to quantify this data because eventually we want to have data in terms of how many phones were confiscated and if it's a repeated offender. And where and actions taken by the administrator or the team.
Ms. King? Ms. Patricia King?
I'm afraid she might be on the other side.
She might,
If
is she
it's
on the other
P.
side?
King, Nick or Rashawn, if you can pull P. King. I saw her in the participants and I didn't know. Yeah. Attendees, she's still in attendees. She's still in attendees. I see her. She needs to be pulled over.
Yep, she's coming.
Okay,
She's
great.
coming.
All right.
Thank you.
I was going to say, all right.
She'll be right there.
Thank you. And while we're waiting, I just want to openly thank our committee. I would not have been able to do this without you guys. So just your input and implementation and your commitment to our meetings. I just want to say thank you for all your hard work and just the level of professionalism that you had throughout this process. Thank you again. Did Ms. King
Okay,
over
I
yet?
believe I'm here now.
Okay, hi, Ms. King. We're on the student code of conduct. So you came in
Yes,
right in time.
Okay. Hi, my name is Ms. King Gibbs. I'm Supervisor of Student Services. This slide outlines the district's progressive response to cell phone violations during the school day. The expectations and consequences are developmentally appropriate, with increasing levels of accountability from elementary through high school. Our focus is not just on discipline, but also on support. Students with repeated violations may be referred to school social workers or counselors for interventions and behavior support. For continued noncompliance, consequences may include parent pickup of the device, temporary loss of privilege to bring a cell phone to school, and disciplinary action consistent with the Code of Conduct. The policy also provides clear expectations for students with documented educational medical needs. Overall, this framework provides a consistent, fair, and supportive approach that keeps the focus on learning while maintaining a positive school environment. Next slide, please. So as we move forward, we recognize that this policy represents a significant adjustment for students, families, and staff. We also understand there will be some growing pains as everyone adapts to the new expectations. Success will depend on consistency across all schools, along with ongoing support for our students and our staff. To ensure successful rollout, we will provide clear communication and training for staff, students, and parents before implementation. Our goal is to have a smooth and consistent implementation across the district beginning September 2026. With clear expectations, strong communication, and a consistent implementation, we are confident that this initiative will create more focused learning environments for all of our students.
Thank you, Ms. King. Mr. Bloom?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Gary Bloom. I'm the supervisor of IT for the district. I'll be going over the budget overview and the devices that we'll be using to hold the cell phones during the day. So as you can see here in the budget overview, we are purchasing 26 cell phone lockers. These are Bradford Cube 42s. And they will be located in main offices and in security areas as discussed. We also are purchasing K through 5 grades will be using wall holders in the classrooms. If they don't have them ready, we'll be providing them as well. We have a marketing, obviously is going to be an expense. And then middle school classrooms are going to have cell phone lockers as well. And they're going to be using a Luxor cell guard. The total cost of the project is $37,490.86. The district was awarded a grant for $34,000, which helps pay for the most of this. And there is going to be a $3,490.86 commitment from the district, as well as, as we've been saying, there are some growing pains. So if we do need to purchase additional lockers, obviously the district will need to make those purchases as well. These lockers will be wall mounted by district staff. Next slide. As you can see here in the pictures, this is what the Bradford Cube looks like. It has a glass door in the front. It has a designated slot for each one of the devices, and it's lockable. The same thing with the Luxor Cell Guard. It's just a smaller unit designed more for a classroom. And of course, over to the right is what they call a typical cell phone holder that we'll be using in elementary schools.
Very good. So as we conclude our presentation this evening, there are some next steps and district support that we are recommending and requesting. One is ongoing community communication. We need to make sure that we, families, students, staff are understand what the policy is and what what the state regulations require. Targeted staff training, dedicated time in September for our PDs and for our SOP training at the building level. Platform and conduct training, provide summer and early school year training sessions for students and families to cover student square, parent square, and of course, our student code of conduct. Accountability and sign off to ensure our bell-to-bell policies are integrated into our student code of conduct and signature forms at the start of each school year. Infiltration and building logistics, grades 6 to K-12, locker assignment, prepare and assign lockers in appropriate buildings, and ensuring that our locker numbers and combinations are ready for our students at the beginning of September. And to purchase and install our phone lockers and caddies for our main office and classrooms. So at this time, our presentation is completed. We want to thank you for your patience. We know that it was very lengthy, but we needed to make sure we provided you with a clear vision and the goals of what we needed to do to implement this bell-to-bell policy. So at this time, Dr. Philpollis will take any questions that the public may have, and the committee is open to questions.
Yeah, let's start with our commissioners and see usually
Okay.
President
Sounds
Wyatt.
good.
Thank you all to our superintendent and the administration. You guys did a wonderful job. That presentation was very, very lengthy, but very, very necessary. So we
Thank you.
appreciate you sharing all of that information. We appreciate you communicating with the youth, especially, and getting their feedback and understanding their perspective on this policy. That's very important. So thank you for your time and your efforts. At this time, do we have any questions from commissioners to the team who worked so tirelessly on this presentation?
I have a question. Hi, Commissioner Allen Jordan. I would like to ask to the principal of PAS, why not take from the flex time so we will not prevent students like to hang around the locker so that they won't miss the bus. That's an issue for me.
So I'm sorry, ma'am. You're saying why not take away from flex? Is that what?
Yeah, instead of waiting to the end of day when they could possibly miss their bus because they're hanging around the lockers.
I'm sorry, I did to interrupt you. So I did a survey for our students, and I wanted to gauge what their level of interest of flex was. It's one of our initiatives that we have at our school.
Get it.
And they were for the most part, heavy agreement with that flex period. They use that flex period for anything from academic intervention, recreational activities, catching up with work, any sort of social emotional learning. There's a lot of counselor related things that we do during that time. What I didn't want to do was to take that 30 minutes and take an extra 5 or 10 minutes to turn it into like 25 or 20 minutes, because once you're getting into that 20-minute zone, it's very, very hard to get something going when you just finished lunch. And then let's say we do 10 minutes, let's say it's 20 total minutes. It's very, very hard to get that something going motivationally speaking, and then go right to your next class. So I didn't want to compromise the integrity of flex. I just thought taking 2 minutes away, because our building, you could probably walk it in probably 30 seconds. Taking those 2 minutes where they get dismissed a little bit earlier before the bell would have been the least invasive process in our school. So that was my personal opinion. And I think that was the best decision for our students. I hope I answered that question.
Okay. But do you have a backup plan if a student missed the bus?
Yes. So when we do have students missing the bus, we do our parent contacts. Depending on the bus, sometimes we do call the director of transportation or the supervisor to say, hey, look, this group of students missed our bus. We do have rosters on our bus as well, where students know which buses they're supposed to be on, which buses they're not supposed to be on. We have had students miss buses in the past. It is very infrequent, but it does happen. It absolutely does happen. So it's parent contact, it's director of transportation contact, and it is getting that student back on that bus as much as we can possibly do. In occasions, parents did have to come pick up. I'm going to say probably 5 to 10 times throughout the year. The biggest thing that I've run into is students know when other students are not missing on the bus. That is subjective. It is not objective. However, it does help us with getting those numbers and making sure those students get on the bus at that time. We have 360 students. I would say about half of them take our buses. So you're looking at about 170 total students. Our bus drivers, I direct them myself. I say, just make sure you have all of your students before you leave. We do not want one student missing that bus because of our cell phone policies, not one.
All right, I have one more question. Are we doing a trial run during the summer school time with the no phones, bell to bell?
We didn't do a trial run. We actually, with our 21st century, we've done a trial run through our summer camp, but not as a unit for our other summer programs.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
That was a very good question.
Any other commissioners have any questions?
Hi, this is Victor. I just wanted to see if the school administration, the secretaries, and the support staff will have the ability to support the influx in calls. A lot of times, parents will call the main office. I know phone lines can get busy. Are the teams in place and have plans in place for when the phone lines may become inundated with calls from parents?
That's a good question. I'll leave that up to one of the building principals. Dr. Rojas or Dr. Rodriguez, would you guys like to answer that?
I can answer that. So I know for Plainfield High School, when that happens, we've worked with IT, so our phones are routed through different administrative assistants. So if the 3 administrative assistants in the main office aren't able to answer the phone because they're already on the phone, that phone there's almost a chain of a chain. So it goes to the next available administrative assistant who is available to pick up that line. And so at Plainfield High School, that will be through 3 different departments: the main office, the principal's office, and the guidance office. So those administrative assistants, their phones all ring once one phone is already picked up.
And is that a similar system? Is that a similar system in the middle school and elementary as well?
It's a similar for Hubbard and for Maxon. We have 3 administrative assistants, and they're routed between the main office, the principal's office, and the guidance suite. So we will have 3 administrative assistants on hand to answer parents' phone calls.
And I believe that and if I'm mistaken, correct me. Parents can also contact their students through Parent Square on the iPads, correct? Which will alleviate
Yes,
some of the calls.
yeah, they can send a direct message to their child directly to them, and it's a private message between the parent and the child.
And that will alleviate a lot of calls to the office as well.
But isn't that a distraction as well?
Well, it could be, but if a parent want to make sure that the kid is cool, I mean, it is a distraction. That's exactly. But as parents, we want to contact. We feel
Right.
that our kids are contact kids.
Like if you remember, Commissioner, one of the biggest questions in the survey was how would I get in the parents? How would I get in touch with my children? So we had to make sure that we had an option for our parents to be able to get into their children, get in touch with their children. So we had to form some type of infrastructure, and our parent square and our student square were the options that we had within the resources within the district. So we agree that can be a distraction, but one of the bigger things that we want to make sure the contact that they're having is probably parent to student and student to parent. They're not in a group chat. They're not in, recording a video throughout the hallway. They're not in the bathroom starting some type of altercation so that they're recording. So that also limits that time with their communication with the phones.
And it's going to take some adjustment,
a lot of adjustment.
A lot of adjustment.
Yeah. And we're going to have some, we're going to do, I think, as Ms. King was mentioning, some classroom presentations with anxiety about screen time, because we know that that is going to be one of the things that our kids are, they're connected to that. And a few of them may have some anxieties at the beginning of the school year. So we want to, walk with them as we go through this process as well.
And I just want to, kind of further illustrate what Student Square is going to be able to bring to our entire school community. We're going to be normalizing the use of Student Square from administrators to students and teachers as well, so that it was an informational kind of platform that lives on the screen, less of a distraction, but more of an information. So it's not to be used for chatting with parents, obviously, but it's the same way the principal's going to say, oh, we're going to have this club is canceled after school, or this club is going to happen after school. A parent can say, I'm going to pick you up at 3, that kind of instantaneous connection that people have taken for granted with cell phones. We really are going to be using Student Square across all of our communications to make it more normal.
Any other questions from commissioners? Okay. I don't see anyone. Thank you all again. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time
for
this
your
evening.
presentation. We appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you.
All right, Dr. Filipatos, are you finished with your presentations and remarks for this evening?
I am. Thank you very much for your time. We really appreciated this venue.
Thank you. All right, so I will now entertain a motion to go into public comment. Commissioners, do we have a motion to go into public comment?
I make a motion to go into public comment, please.
Do we have a second?
Second.
It's been properly moved by Commissioner Allen Jordan, seconded by Commissioner Malone, that the board now goes into public comment at this time. You heard the motion. Are you ready for the
Behind the
question?
couch.
There being none,
Or
all in
come over
favor?
here.
Aye.
All opposed have the same right. Motion carried. I'll read the public comment statement. At business meetings, a 30-minute period will be provided for public comment following committee reports. During this time, members of the public may raise questions or express concerns related to district matters. All members of the public will be asked to present their questions or comments before any response is given. A response is not required, nor will the board engage in back and forth dialogue with any member of the public. Responses, if provided, may come from the board president, superintendent, or designee. Members of the public may address the board once per meeting for a maximum period of 3 minutes as measured by the clock. No exceptions will be granted. Time may not be transferred from one individual to another. Members of the public are encouraged to submit additional questions or comments to the superintendent or board leadership ahead of or following the respective meeting for review and follow-up. This process ensures public input is heard, respect the time of all participants, and aligns with the board's workflow for efficient and transparent meetings. Public comment is now open.
All right. Who's up? Nick?
We have Laura Miranda Brown.
Ms. Miranda Brown, you have the floor.
Good evening. It's nice to see you all.
Good evening.
I'm glad the district has put together a comprehensive cell phone policy for our buildings. I think it's excellent. And I'd also like to encourage the board to support parents in holding off on giving our kids cell phones until late middle school, as other districts in our area have done. Pediatricians and mental health professionals have been raising these concerns for quite some time, and anything we can do to help parents hold that line would probably help us all. Two items tonight raise financial questions that I'd like answered publicly. Item K2 is appointing an acting super of compensation administration. I assume that means payroll admin for 3 months with a prorated salary of over $100,000. Does that mean $100,000 for 3 months of work, or a prorated portion of that annual salary? Please clarify that for the public. Item M3 approves paying New York University, an institution with a $7.4 billion endowment, $145,700 to train our teachers in culturally responsive literacy. Given our district's demographics, I'd hope a program like this could be offered to us at little to no cost. And I hope that we have looked into that. If not, we should. I also want to flag something from last month's board meeting that was approved. A position paying $3,000 a month to help administrative, scheduling, and operational support for the tennis courts running from July of 2026 through June of 2027, a full year. That's $36,000 for what looks like a part-time role. I raise these not to nitpick, but because this is exactly what financial mismanagement hides. It hides in the details. A job listed as a year-long contract versus maybe something that was intended to be only a month is now a $36,000 discrepancy. Vague wording on a prorated salary is the difference between $25,000 and $100,000 for 3 months. It allows people to be overpaid because that's what the board approved. Finally, the public raises these questions and gets no responses, not from board members, not from the acting super, not from the business administrator. Ever since Mr. Hassan left, I have not received a single email, phone call, nothing on any of the public comments I've made. That silence is effectively the new policy, and the public deserves a response. I pay taxes in this town. I send my children to these schools. I want every child in Plainfield to get the best education we can offer, and that starts with keeping the adults accountable and making sure the accounting is correct. I look forward to hearing the board discuss M3 and K2 in full view of the public. Frankly, any public discussion would be a welcome change.
Thank you very much, Ms. Miranda Brown. Who's up next,
From
Nick? Ms. Balch, you have the floor.
Hello, good evening, everyone. I was so happy to see that the board, that the district has this new cell phone use policy for students. I congratulate you on implementing that and for letting us know all the details. I really appreciate it. Next, I want to relate my concerns about literacy instruction and support. And I started this thought process when I was watching my 5-year-old granddaughter put together a puzzle the other day. And I realized that life was actually pretty much of a puzzle to solve, one small piece at a time. Educating low-income children is a puzzle to be solved as well, one small piece at a time. Other districts have found 3 key pieces are required for all the others to fall into place. Districts both near and far have solved the puzzle. The district in Union City, not 30 miles from here, figured it out. Districts in 3 southern states solved the problem with a lot less money than we have. What did those districts do for their Black students, for their English learners? The 3 key pieces they applied to complete the puzzle of how to educate low-income students were, number 1, they made literacy the highest priority. Number 2, they hired a strong leader at the top of the org chart, kept him or her in place until the job was done. And number 3, they held everyone accountable for student learning from the state legislature down to the individual student. To achieve such a goal, they had to make tough, unpopular decisions about how to spend their money, which employees to keep, which staff to promote, how much to raise school tax to ensure support for literacy. For years, more than 3 years, they made tough, unpopular decisions in the short term to achieve long-term success for students. So young people didn't end up frustrated, angry, resentful, jobless, or worse, in jail because they couldn't succeed in school. If we adults don't make literacy a priority, the priority, if we continue to ignore how best to educate children, we have only ourselves to blame when children don't succeed. We can't say we didn't know how to educate them because now we do know. And soon the children will know too. When they can't compete in the wide world because they will know who was responsible, the underserved kids who were taught the whole language method of reading for decades know who was to blame, me, and a whole lot of other parents and school districts in the 1990s. We should have demanded evidence for proof that the method works in all student populations, and we didn't. I don't want the same thing to happen to this generation of students. So when I have a question about the kind of programs or instruction Plainfield students are getting, I feel the need to speak up. Here's my question about literacy coaching, which is referred to in the Agenda Academic Excellence Committee report, conclusions reached. Is the data based on number of students or needs of teachers? How does providing fewer coaches per building comply with strategic plan goals of giving teachers all the support they need?
That is your time.
Oh,
Thank you, Ms. Balch.
you're welcome.
Next up,
I'm not sure what happened to Mrs. Wyatt. Nick, could you please bring her back as a panelist and then bring the next person up?
As of right now, there is no next person.
somehow I'm back. I don't know what happened. You said we don't have anybody up next?
Hold on, somebody just raised their hand. Mr. Thompson?
Ms. Johnson, you have the floor.
Thompson.
Please excuse me. Ms. Thompson, you have the
All
floor.
right, you hear me now? Yes, I basically
Mr.
want to
Thompson.
I want to give a shout out to Commissioner Malone, who really who supported our students and staff at a 8th grade career day. He short notice, he came and helped us out. The kids were very impressed with him. They were like, "What team he played with?" I said, "He played for your team. He played for you." So thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, I would like to encourage all parents to really give this thought. Having your child, your student, leave their phones at home, especially K to 8th. If it's possible, please leave the devices at home. Give them a chance at a fair education, equity education. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Nick, do we have anybody else that would like to take advantage of public comment at this time?
Not so far.
All right. Seeing none and hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close public comment at this time. Commissioners,
I make a motion to close public comment.
do we have a second?
A second.
It's been properly moved by Commissioner Allen Jordan and seconded by Commissioner Johnson that the board now close public comment at this time. You heard the motion. Are you ready for the question? There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
No opposed, have the same right. Motion carried.
All right, thank you. Dr. Filipatos, do you have responses to the questions put forth for public comment?
Yes, I want to just briefly, thank both of our commenters. We appreciate your feedback, and we do reach out back to you. I don't. I want to say we try to answer every question, and we will reach out to you tomorrow as well. Miss Laura Miranda Brown. First, you asked 3 questions, and I will let the business administrator explain the first one. The tennis court oversight is actually pays for itself with the money that is returned through revenue and Facilitron. And I'm sure that someone in the business office would also be happy to explain that as well, more privately. And then your question regarding NYU is very important to us, and I would love for you to talk to Dr. Master Giovanni. I'm going to ask her to reach out to you tomorrow and really detail what that looks like. In fact, I would love, to even some of our sessions could be shared with our parents as well. So I would like to make that happen. And of course, Ms. Catherine Balch is our collaborator and partner in literacy, and we appreciate that so much. We have been back and forth a few times this month with you, and I had left it that Dr. Master Giovanni and our supervisor of language arts, Ms. Donna Mullaney, were going to reach out and set up a meeting with you to kind of explore some of your more recent ideas. And I will, because you started to ask questions. I got one of them down about the data, what you wanted to know about our committee report. So Dr. Master Giovanni can really go through that as she was on that committee report as well. So thank you both for your questions, and the team will be following up with both of you tomorrow. And Cameron, if you just wanted to specify that.
Yes. And so thank you for the question, Mrs. Miranda Brown. The recommendation to the board this evening for the acting supervisor of compensation is not $100,000 for a 3-month stint of service. It is the differential, between that step on the salary guide, which is the beginning of the negotiated salary guide, and where that individual is currently residing in their current role for the time that they will be serving for that 3-month period.
And so, Mr. Cox, quickly, does what we approved last month, the $1,000 per month, which was considered a stipend for additional responsibilities, does that equate to the amount that we're approving this evening regarding the salary for the full scope of the 3 months as it adds to her current salary?
No, so the stipend will not be paid. That was in error. And so that's why we have it clarified this evening, because that position is a collectively bargained position. It's not like the person would be staying in PEA and doing additional PEA duties. That person is going from PEA and would be going to the pre-negotiated salary guide position for that position. And as such, because it is collectively bargained, we have to not pay the stipend and then pay the differential between where they are on their step in PEA as they move to the PASA guide for those 3 months.
Okay, thank you. That's all I'm comfortable with discussing with regard to this position and this particular employee. Thank you all. And so I'll now entertain a motion to go into executive session for the board for the purpose of discussing legal and personnel matters. Do we have a motion on the floor?
I make a motion for us to retire to executive session.
Do we have a second?
Second.
It's been properly moved by Commissioner Allen Jordan and seconded by Commissioner Dr. Harris that the board now retire into executive session for the purpose of discussing legal and personnel. You've heard the motion. Are you ready for the question? There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed have the same right. Motion carried. Madam President, Dr. Filipatos, the anticipated time, length?
The anticipated time for executive session, I would say, would be 45 minutes.
Okay. The time is currently 7:47, and the board anticipates being in executive session for the span of 45 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you.
T-Bone, are we in the wrong spot?
Did they go to the other room? I
Yeah,
didn't
you
know.
have your other link.
got to go to the other room.
Oh, okay. I'm sitting here and I didn't even hear him say that. All right. All right. All right, bye.
Good evening, everyone. I want to thank you for your patience. The board anticipates an additional 30 minutes that is needed in executive session. Thank you. If it takes longer than that, I will come out and make another statement. Facilitator, we have Commissioners Hembry, Douglas, and a few others that saying they're not being brought in as panelists. Can you look for them? Those commissioners that have not been brought in, can you please raise your hand so they can see you amongst the other participants in the community?
I'm just waiting for Dr. Filipatos to accept the invitation over.
Thank you, Nick. Looks like Dr. Harris is still missing. Commissioner Johnson, Commissioner Vice President Webb.
Yes, they haven't joined the meeting as of yet.
Understood. Any word on Commissioners Johnson, Malone, and Commissioner Vice President Webb?
They have not joined the meeting as of yet.
Okay, I'll try to make some phone calls.
I'll send the links.
Looks like everyone is joined.
Still looking for Commissioner Vice President Webb. Mr. Malone, you could hit the lower your hand button. You've been brought over as a panelist.
Victor Webb's coming over now.
All right.
All right. Thank you all. I'll now entertain a motion to return to public session. Do we have a motion on the floor?
I make the motion to return to public session, please.
Do we have a second?
I second the motion. It's been properly moved by Commissioner Allen Jordan and seconded by Commissioner Douglas that the board now resume this meeting in the public. You've heard the motion, excuse me. Are you ready for the question?
Yes.
There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed have the same right. Motion carried at 9:01 p.m.
Thank you very much. And right now is there any discussion on agenda items for the public from the board?
Madam President, we have a walk-on first.
Yes, we do. Thank you very much.
General Counsel, Ms. Shabazz.
Yes, thank you. The walk-on resolution is entitled, it's Resolution K-17, Resolution Accepting the Voluntary Resignation of Superintendent Rashawn K. Hassan. Whereas Superintendent Rashawn K. Hassan submitted a letter of voluntary resignation dated June 26, 2026, stating that his final date of employment shall be 90 days from the date of the resignation letter. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the Plainfield Board of Education hereby accepts the voluntary resignation of Superintendent Rashawn K. Hassan as set forth in his resignation letter dated June 26, 2026, and be it further resolved that Superintendent's final date of employment shall be 90 days from June 26, 2026, consistent with the terms of his resignation letter.
Mrs. Shabazz,
Thank you, Ms. Shabazz.
that has been added as a walk-on item on the agenda.
All right, thank you. And now, if we have any commissioners for board discussion before we move forward and entertain a vote from the board. Any commissioners? All right. I'll now entertain a motion for consent agenda.
Motion for consent agenda.
Do we have a second?
Second.
It's been properly moved by Commissioner Vice President Webb and seconded by Commissioner Johnson that the board move tonight's agenda as a consent agenda. You've heard the motion. Are you ready for the question? There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed have the same right. Motion carried. Is there a motion to approve this evening's consent agenda?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
It's been properly moved by, was that Commissioner Malone?
Yes, sir.
All right, it's been properly moved by Commissioner Vice President Webb and seconded by Commissioner Malone that the board now approve this evening's consent agenda. You heard the motion. Are you ready for the question? There being none, I will call the roll. Commissioner Webb, Vice President Webb?
Yes.
Commissioner Malone?
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson?
Yes, and obviously abstaining from any travel I may have.
I will abstain you from the travel and the travel reimbursements on the bills list.
As you will abstain every commissioner who may be listed for travel or any board reimbursements.
For individuals, yep. Commissioner Hembry?
Yes.
Commissioner Dr. Harris?
Yes.
Commissioner Douglas?
Yes.
Commissioner Andrews?
Yes.
Commissioner Allen Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner President Wyatt?
Yes.
Madam President, all agenda items pass unanimously.
All right. Thank you very much. I'll now entertain a motion to adjourn. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
It's been properly moved by Commissioner Malone and seconded by Commissioner Johnson that the board now adjourn this meeting in the public. You've heard the motion. Are you ready for the question? There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
All opposed have the same right. Motion carried. Meeting adjourned at 9:06 p.m.